Give them something to talk about. How about love? Hi, it's Nick Shell, the internet receding hairline guy, and yes, I am your guru. I am the guy that's here to help you embrace the psychology of slowly losing your hair, unless you're one of the lucky lucky participants in the human gene pool who ends up living a full life and a full head of hair. But you would be rare in a good way. You'd be lucky. You did nothing to deserve or earn that. But let's assume that you're not. I'm not. I know that I'm not. Now granted, I didn't go bald by 20, but you know, for a 35-year-old guy, this is about what you'd expect. This is about as good as you'd expect. If you had expectations of having more hair by the time you're 35, then you're being overly optimistic, and you shouldn't be, because that's not healthy. You need to be realistic yet optimistic. It's a delicate balance, but that's how I try to live my life. So what I want to start doing, and I'll just kind of throw these into my videos. If you've been faithfully watching my videos, you know I have this whole belief system, which I believe is based on the teachings of Jesus, but not in an outright biblical way, where I look at what would someone who's victorious do versus someone who is a victim do, because you get to choose that. And it goes back to my video that I keep talking about, that you can't insult me challenge. No one has the ability to insult me because I don't give them permission to. I don't give them ability to have power over my emotions, right? Because I choose, as my name Nicholas in Greek translates victorious, as my name indicates, I am victorious because I choose to be, not because I'm lucky or anything like that. It's not about luck. Even like with this truck right now, it's kind of messing up the vibes of my video. I don't care. I'll just take care of the problem. Just run away from the distraction there and use that as a life example, right? So in these several victor versus victim scenarios, I want to start out with one today, and that is someone who's victorious compliments others. Someone who is a victim criticizes others. Now, I understand fully, because I am a victor, not a victim, I understand the importance of constructive criticism. I'm quite the fan of it, because the more constructive criticism I receive from people, the more I can learn how to be better at whatever it is in life. And I'm not just talking about hair videos. I'm talking about anything, communication, whatever it may be. I want to be the best. I don't want to depend on luck to determine my fate, my future. A lot of it is based on what I choose to do and how I choose to act and react to things. So, someone who's victorious is going to compliment others. Someone who is a victim is going to criticize others. And when I say criticize, I'm not saying, you know, you see your friend and he's got a black bean on his front tooth. Now, obviously that's a good thing. You're helping somebody out, right? But, you know, what I'm talking about is more the juvenile third grade insults, like, you know, hey, you're ugly. Like when you approach someone just to tell them that they've got a problem. For example, I mentioned yesterday in my video about how a couple years ago there were two guys at my work, both who had complete full heads of hair and were older than me, and went out of their way to point out the fact that one pointed out that I have thinning back here, the other pointed out that my hairline is going up. And again, coming from guys who are at least a decade older than me and straight across hairlines. Now, that's fine that they did that. They helped make me more aware of what's going on so that I could embrace it. But at the same time, I kind of question their motives, because if you're happy in life, if you're content with who you are and you're confident, why would you have time to go around pointing out people's physical flaws? Now again, I'm victorious, so I made a positive thing out of it. I embraced it, and I became more aware, so I made a good thing out of it. But I'm not the kind of guy who's going to go up to other guys in the real world, or even on the internet, and say, hey, you know what? You're losing your hair. You know that, right? What are you going to do about that? Are you going to shave your head? Are you going to, you know, are you going to get some kind of surgery, a transplant? What are you going to do about that? You know, hey man, you're going bald. You're losing your hair. I would never do that. Nor would I do that for someone's weight, or that they even just look older in general, or make fun of their car because it's old. I would never go up to someone and approach them and just criticize them, right? Because that's, to me, I see that as destructive criticism. I'm all for constructive criticism, helping someone with the right motives. But just criticizing someone, so here's where I'm getting at. And again, you cannot insult me. It's physically impossible to do that for someone as confident as I am, who gives no one power of my emotions. But imagine this. Imagine that you're me. I am a real human being with a soul. Don't forget about that. I read my comments. I'm pretty good about reading the comments. I try to reply back to them. And every time I look on there, I'm like, okay, here's a new person. Is this going to be someone who is criticizing just for the sake of criticizing? Or is this someone who has something constructive to say? Maybe it is pointing out something negative, but their motive is right. I'm always looking at that because honestly, I'm sizing them up. Is this a victor or is this a victim? Because a victim thinks that there's never enough in the world. That's why they're always criticizing other people. They have to criticize people to make themselves feel good about themselves. But a guy like me, and I'm not saying I'm the best person ever. I'm saying I've got lots of things wrong with me. I've done lots of mistakes in my life. I'm flawed, fully aware of all my flaws, okay? But at the same time, I don't have to put other people down or try to insult them or even just poke them with an insult. I don't have to do that. There's no motive there for me. I'm content with myself. I'm happy with who I am. I make the most of who I am. So I have no reason to go around criticizing people. It does make me question those guys that I worked with a couple years ago. And please don't think I'm holding some kind of grudge. I'm looking at the psychology behind this. Why did they, of all the things they could have said to me, or just not said anything to me at all, they made a point to think, oh, I've got a full head of hair. He doesn't. He's younger than me. I'm going to point it out. Like, that was a conscious decision they made. They could have not said anything at all, but they chose to do that. So it makes me think, were those men content with who they were? I'm content with who I am. And I just think that ultimately, if you're victorious, you're going to find a way to compliment other people. And that's something you see in my videos. Even when someone tries to, I don't even know, I guess they're attempting to insult me in the comments. Notice that I'm never going to negatively react to them. I always thank them for leaving their comment and supporting my channel. I don't believe in tearing other people down. I believe in supporting people. I believe in complimenting people legitimately for who they are and what they do. I find ways to compliment them because I am confident in myself. Someone who's not confident in themselves is going to criticize other people regularly. They're going to find ways to criticize people. Meanwhile, someone who's victorious, like me, I'm going to find ways to compliment people. So I want you to keep that in mind. As your guru, that is my lesson for the day. Are you a victim? Are you a victor? If you're a victor, you're going to be finding ways to compliment other people. If you're a victim, you will continue finding ways to criticize other people. Sometimes over very trivial stuff, right? But that's your insecurity kicking in because you're a victim. And victims think there's never enough good in the world. That's what victims do. It's in your psychology. Now the cool thing about this, you can change. You can become like me. You can become victorious by choosing to become victorious. So this is one of many of this series that I'm going to do. I'm going to just be throwing these into my videos here. I've got many more to come. I think this is really the most relevant thing I can do right now as the internet receding hairline guy, because as I've mentioned before, it's all about the psychology of my videos. I'm not an expert on hair loss, but I am very relevant to helping you with the psychology of hair loss. There's not a lot of other people doing what I do, the psychology. So, are you a victor, meaning that there is enough in the world and we can make this place better, or are you a victim? There's never enough and let's just watch the world go down in flames. Because if that's what's going to happen, you're going to continue criticizing people. But if you're like me and you're victorious because you choose to be, you're going to find ways to compliment people. Whether it's their hair, whether it's whatever it is, you'll find a way to compliment them instead of find a way to criticize them. My name is Nick Shell, the internet receding hairline guy, and I am your guru.